This is really the first exhibit that we have gotten to open during my tenure here. So I am thrilled with Rachael's work on this. I threw an idea at her last year. Our program theme for 2022 is Democracy on Trial. And so I stopped in to talk to Rachael on one of her wonderful days here with us, and I said, are you seeing anything in what you're working through that you think might help tell this story? And what you see is the result of that. One of the things that brings to mind for me, so Moritz Fuchs was Justice Jackson's bodyguard at Nuremberg. He was in his early 20s at the time, and he was the only bodyguard. So when you think about what likely would happen today, he's surrounded by a phalanx of people trying to keep him safe. And what especially resonates with me about this exhibit is I am also someone who saves movie stubs and who saves the little things from all my life. And when I pull those back out, I can remember the people I experienced that with. I can remember maybe the feelings I was having. And so really to see what I consider, and what I think all of us would consider, the everyday as an exhibit, and really to understand everything is history. It's just really about the context. It's really about what it means to you as the keeper and to the viewer.
Hi, I'm Rachael Kosinski. I'm the curator. And first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. It's been incredibly exciting to see this exhibition come to fruition, and I'm so happy that other people are finally getting a chance to see it as well. Everything in this exhibition comes from the collection of Father Moritz Fuchs, who served as Robert H. Jackson's personal bodyguard during the Nuremberg trials. And when I first started working with his collection in late 2020, it was all housed in random cardboard boxes. So I quickly switched them over to acid-free archival boxes and endeavored to sort the many, many documents and objects into a cohesive chronological timeline, or at least something that wouldn't totally confuse any future archivist who would have to deal with a collection.
And for that I say many thanks.
And this is a collection I am still actively accessioning. The objects in this exhibition only come from box 1 of 8, and it's only a little bit of box 1. And what struck me immediately in this collection was the number of unique things that sat in these boxes. Things that were overwhelmingly human. German language books stuffed with dirt from being used in the field, official papers scrawled with notes or with doodles on the covers. Even the sheer amount of newspaper clippings Fuchs kept told a boldly outlined story of a man keeping watch with the world as certain individuals went to trial. Many of these papers are yellowed from sunlight and time. They're soft to the touch and worn, scrawled with colored pencil, graphite, and ink. Usually paperwork is not the most exciting thing in the world, but the papers in this exhibition tell the story of one of the most tumultuous times in our recent history, and are special because many of them were not meant to be kept. The restricted telephone books were meant to be destroyed as each monthly issue came out, and the edited copies of Jackson's statements were just that, edited copies and rough drafts. The color-coded floor plan of the Palace of Justice is oddly reminiscent of college campus maps new students used to find their way around. These are all objects that illustrate the work that went into prepping for the Nuremberg trials and how the world followed the trial's developments. And we are very thankful for Fuchs' foresight in collecting them and keeping them safe. Thank you again for coming, and I hope you enjoy the exhibition.
One thing about that floor plan. That was really quite a find for us, and the Jackson Center had made a trip to Nuremberg late last September, early October, to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the end of the Nuremberg trial. So the verdicts were read on September 30th and October 1st of 1946. And in the course of the touring of the museum, the curator in Nuremberg said, we know that the Palace of Justice has been modified, the floor plan, like the offices aren't where they were at that time. She said, but we really don't know who was where. And I said, I can help with that. Because just about 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, Rachael had said, have you seen this? And she had pulled out the 8.5 by 11 size paper of it. And so really take a look at that blown up on the wall, because it's really interesting where everybody was delineated to sit, and even that there's a laundry and a barber, and so like everything you needed in life, you didn't need to leave that building for, because to be honest, they didn't really leave that building for several months. So please enjoy, please help yourself to some food, and thank you all so very much for being here with us today.